So Mexico plays a more and more significant role for us as we move forward. R&D side will continue to grow. As I mentioned, we do R&D in Mexico. We will expand there, but we will expand beyond there to make certain we remain that technology partner with our customers. And in the end, by the time we get to 2030, if you look at that column, 45% of our products will be new products which did not exist in 2020. You see there that the Americas then is further divided into three sub-regions. The way we're structured here is we consider US and Canada as one sub-region, Mexico as another, and then South America. While many combine Mexico together and with US and Canada as North America, obviously that's the logical approach. We thought it was important based on our growth in Mexico from manufacturing, but also R&D.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Schaeffler's CES 2024 Preview Media Webcast. My name is Cynthia Norris, and I'm the Vice President of Communications, Branding, and Marketing at Schaeffler here in the Americas region. We also wanted to share with you our growth strategies in the region Americas. And finally, and I think this is what you're most interested in probably, is we wanted to provide you an update on all the new and exciting technologies that we have planned for CES next year. So today's speakers, you'll hear from Marc McGrath, our regional CEO, and you'll also hear from Jeff Hemphill, our regional CTO. With that, I will turn it over to Marc.
Thank you, Cynthia. A warm welcome to everyone from my side. I will begin today talking about our claim, We Pioneer Motion. While quite simple, it has a deep-rooted meaning there, which I hope to convey to you today and show a little bit how we plan on using that claim, transforming our business and our new positioning. We're organized in three divisions globally, and we're in automotive technologies, automotive aftermarket, and industrial business. You see there that the Americas then is further divided into three sub-regions. The way we're structured here is we consider US and Canada as one sub-region, Mexico as another, and then South America. While many combine Mexico together and with US and Canada as North America, obviously that's the logical approach. We thought it was important based on our growth in Mexico from manufacturing, but also R&D. So Mexico plays a more and more significant role for us as we move forward. If you look at the founding of the company, it started with innovative products, but it also goes beyond that. It's innovation in the way we manufacture products. It's innovation in the way we're structured. It's innovation in our HR processes. It's throughout our organization. Of course, innovation alone is not sufficient. You need to be excellent. We think of excellence with respect to quality of product, but it's also excellent with respect to people. It's excellent with respect to the way we manufacture, design, develop products, and the way we engage with our customers. If we come to the pioneering side, it really goes back to our founding by the Schaeffler brothers, Georg Schaeffler Sr. and his brother. And they basically developed together the needle or cage needle roller bearing. They were in the carpet business, and they kept having failures with their equipment. They needed a new bearing. People said it couldn't be done. They developed this bearing, and that was the foundation of the ENA brand, which is part of the Schaeffler group. Now, as we look at our product portfolio today, it's much larger than these three products that I highlighted. But at our core, starting at the bottom of this chart, so I'll read bottom to top, it's really our foundation business is our bearing and components. And so we see that we have multiple products, which are bearings or linear guides, which when we classify those and think about it, we say those are really the products that guide motion. Then we have products in the transmission and engine category that really are about transmitting torque or transmitting motion. And now we're getting heavily involved in the actuation systems. We're launching right now a rear steer system, many products on the chassis side, industrial side, and those have to do with generating motion as they essentially control the motion, or as it states, generate the motion necessary for steering, for ride height, whatever the case may be. And of course, we're now transforming into the e-mobility world where we have electrification. So we have traction motors, e-drives, multiple platforms, hybrid systems, which drive motion. And if you're going to drive motion or electrified, you need to come to the next category where you need to energize motions. We will be launching batteries in the future. We have multiple projects in the hydrogen space. Some of you may have read our announcements in that regard. And then ultimately, we have to look at the lifetime solutions. That's expected in the future for a circular economy and beyond, where we will sustain motion. So when we put all this together and we look at that, sustain, energize, generate, transmit, and guide, that really defines us as the motion technology company. So that's the positioning we're moving to, thinking of the simple products or components we came from. If you look at just the Americas, we could show a global view, but CES will be a little bit more focused on the Americas. And we look at how we're transforming our region. We see that in terms of footprint. We see that in terms of revenue. Maybe just to share a few indicators there. So basically, internally, we started a project where we would say 2x 30. What does that mean? We wanted it over a decade to double our revenue. You saw our revenues nearly 3.5 billion. We're partially into this journey, so we would expect to be around 6 billion euros. But moreover, we're transforming our complete product portfolio. Of course, all of this is prior to our announcement. Perhaps some of you have read that we're in the process of acquiring Vitesco. These two companies will be merged into one Schaeffler moving forward. So with that, what does that mean? We are currently investigating a new manufacturing location, which will be in Ohio, which will produce e-drives, e-axles. Why Ohio? We need to be in the Midwest, once again, to be close to our customers. These are larger units. We need to be just in time to our customer, and therefore, many of you know, Ohio is a very large supplier relative to the states in the U.S. Technology, I mentioned our acquisition, future partnership with Vitesco will bring power electronics into play much stronger. Many people think about steel going away in the future. Steel will remain to be dominant. We need e-steel to produce electric motors. So we're working with several partners in that area. R&D side will continue to grow. As I mentioned, we do R&D in Mexico. We will expand there, but we will expand beyond there to make certain we remain that technology partner with our customers. And in the end, by the time we get to 2030, if you look at that column, 45% of our products will be new products which did not exist in 2020. And ultimately, leadership, we continue to develop new leadership programs, and we will maintain our claim, as you see at the top, we pioneer motion as we position ourselves as the motion technology company. With that, I'll turn it over to Jeff, and he can go through more specific examples that you will see at CES.
And you can see an example of that here. So we're talking about driving motion. So this is actually our largest product that you're seeing here. It's an electric beam axle for pickup trucks. Obviously, pickup trucks very popular in the U.S. So we're leading that development from our R&D centers here in the U.S. Axle design, but it also allows us to continue to make use of our presses. So in the future, when you go to electrification and maybe in 5 or 10 years, we don't need to make torque converters anymore. What do we do with those capital assets? Well, we can use them to stamp parts like this, and along the way save a great deal of mass and offer better performance. So we'll be really happy to show off some of those things at CES here. And then if we move on to the next example, we go to energize motion. So again, I talked about our library of concepts, product concepts and production concepts. And it turns out that a couple of expertises that we have developed over the years are in high technology coatings and also complex assemblies. So the coding has led us to discover that we're pretty good at making, at least in the laboratory so far, battery cells. So we're using some of that coding technology to develop solid state battery cells, which we think will be the next generation of batteries. But also more immediately, what you can see here is a battery pack. So obviously any hybrid or electric vehicle on or off-road needs energy storage or a battery pack. So now we have a battery pack of our own on its way to production, where we've done a lot of the design. We'll be at that stage purchasing cells, but using again some of our assembly expertise and our overall systems engineering to put together a battery pack. So again, be happy to show off more detail about that at CES here. And then if we go to the next example, we talk about generating motion. So this is where Mark mentioned actuation, or getting things to move. And here again, we have obviously a synergy with our foundational business, because there are things like bearings in there anytime you're moving something. But also with our e-mobility business. So we looked at the electric axle, which is a combination, in that case, of a quite large electric motor and a gear train, eventually driving or generating motion on the road. But in this case, it's an electric motor and some kind of ratio train, could be gears, could be a flex drive, but creating, in this case, steering motion. And then I guess the next example, also generating motion, but here on the industrial side. So what you're looking at here is an electromechanical actuator for a robot joint. We have several of these that we offer, and again, it can include up to the electric motor, the control board, and the ratio creating mechanism, and all, again, created by our engineers in-house, innovated together, and very power dense. So in this particular case, we're using what we call a strain wave gearbox, which uses a flex spline to create a very high ratio in a very small space. Actually, for an automotive product, we developed a way to stamp that in high volume without post-processing like grinding or honing. So it becomes a very affordable solution, and here we can apply that same mechanical ratio device to a robot joint and offer the high power density and compact package. And we have a whole line of industrial actuators as well that we'll be explaining more about at CES.
CES for us actually marks the start of our 2024 roadshow. While Schaeffler is a household name in Europe, it's known very well in our given industries in the US, in the Americas, but perhaps not as strongly known in various households. And for us, as we move forward, we think it's important that every university knows Schaeffler, that top talent knows Schaeffler, as we need good people to move forward. So we want to strengthen our brand within the region and show that we clearly are a pioneering organization focused on new industries. We've been pioneering motion for over 75 years. We provide various solutions, as we've highlighted, through the entire range of motion. And clearly, we're going to see a substantial transformational growth globally and specifically here in the Americas region. And as you saw from Jeff, and we'll explain further, we are developing technologies for tomorrow's motion needs, whether those are solid-state batteries, hydrogen, electric drives. That's the avenue we're pursuing. We want to continue to be our customers' technology partner and be a leading innovation company as we continue to pioneer motion into the future. Thank you.